Are we live? Starting? I'm going to assume that we have already started recording. And I knew it right when I pushed record. I am not awkward at all. Someone just texted me. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Technology in all of its many forms. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully you are well. Thank you so much if you're here for the live stream. I want to just as a few things, of course, play a game like we normally do here on our live streams here each and every month. It's usually the first Saturday of the month that you can expect there to be a live stream on this channel here at least. Oh, I see. I just turned my watch back on after having it turned off, so I'm just getting all the text messages that I've gotten throughout the day. So let me just silence that or else I'm going to go insane. Cool. There is one person watching. Introduce yourself if you're here already. I am going to just take a brief moment and share the fact that I'm doing a live stream in the first place. Just starting. Hi. Oh, hi, Laurier. Thanks for dropping by. Apparently you and me both share something that we have nothing better to do on a Saturday night. Live stream. This is always the most awkward part, is at the very beginning, because I want to make sure everyone knows about it, and I probably should just have a way to automate all this. And yet I don't. One last to the Twitter. Four are here. Again, introduce yourself if you're here in the live stream. I'm just twittering out the fact that this is starting right now. And then we'll actually get into the actual meat and potatoes of our time here together. Come and hang out on my lot. Oh my gosh, come on, Kyle. Get it together. Learn how to spell. Bam. Tweet. Okay, now my focus is all on you. Oh, it's your break. Okay, great. Well, hopefully I can entertain you a little bit here in the meantime. We're going to play a little bit of a game. We can talk about what you want. If you do have questions, challenges that you think I can complete in the confines of this video screen, definitely throw them down into the comments. Barbara's here. Hi, Barbara. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. You know, I just got back. I was up visiting my parents. For those of you who live in Alberta or know about Canada, I was born and raised in a very small town called Rocky Mountain House, which I know always sounds like it's a made-up place, but that is literally the name of the little town that I grew up in that had 6,000 people when I was there. I think it's boomed to like 10,000 people now. I was up visiting them. I wish I had brought it with me. You can see it on somewhere I posted online. I think it was on Twitter. But my little nephew, my 3-year-old nephew, had actually made this little card for me, congratulating me on opening up Media Lab, which I thought was kind of cute and fun. And my little niece is going to be born here sometime this week, or at least very, very soon. So I'm very excited about that as well. I am a bit hyperventilating, and why I haven't been able to sleep, and why I've been so anxious over the last couple of days is because Tuesday morning, I'm supposed to be flying out to San Francisco. I'm going to be touring some of the different campuses down there. I was invited to come and tour the Patreon offices, which is very exciting to me. I think it's going to be a really great time. While I was getting all my stuff together, and I like to pre-plan and stuff like that, I was getting all my documents and stuff in order, making sure everything was ready to go here yesterday. And guess what expired 5 days ago? You guessed it, my passport, which really threw me into a tailspin because I was like, I don't know what to do in this situation. As far as I knew, it took at least 10 days to get a passport sent to you. So didn't sleep that night. I thought I'd ruin the whole trip. I'm going with somebody else. And I'm going to ruin their experience and everything else. So I'm really freaking out. And I go there the next morning, which was yesterday. So I go down to the building that's like a few blocks away from where Media Lab is. And I plead my case. I'm there at 8 in the morning. I'm like third person in line. I'm going in there and I'm saying, listen, so my passport is expired. Is there any way that I'm going to be able to get on a plane on Tuesday morning? And they said, well, if you have enough money, then yes, which I guess is the good thing and the good trade-off on our capitalistic society. So set me up with the photo place. It was across the street. Got my photos, came and filled out my form, handed it in, paid them a couple $100, and I am supposed to, unless something doesn't go through or something is canceled or just something weird happens, I'm supposed to have my passport in my hand at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, which I really hope so that I can get onto that plane the next morning at 6 a.m. If not, then I don't know what my next step is. Hopefully it's here on Tuesday and maybe rebook my flight to sometime later that afternoon. That's the only thing I can think of. Anyways. Laurie in the chat says, go to Rock Bistro. I've been to Rock Bistro down in that area before. I had kangaroo. I ate kangaroo for the first time when I went to Rock Bistro down near, I think it's near like Mountain View, Cupertino area. It's one of those restaurants where I feel like they're sort of ripping you off because you're paying full price, but you actually cook your meal at the table because they bring you this really hot lava stone that you put the meat and stuff onto and then dip it into the sauce that you want to put into it. Still very good. I'm just saying, I don't think I should have to pay full price. Anyways, so one of the things, I brought up this little trip that I went to my parents' place. By the way, to cut myself off mid-sentence here, you will notice that the title of this live stream is Let's Get to 1,300, because currently I have 1,271 subscribers. So if you want to invite friends, tell them that they should subscribe to my channel, we should try and get to 1,300 people by the end of this hour, 35 minutes. Let's not try and go overboard here. The reason why I brought up the fact that I went to my parents' place is that there's a thing that my family does. It's fun for us, is that we bring out Trivial Pursuit. We have a bunch of different editions of it, but each person will just take a pack of cards and we'll read out the questions and people will try and guess what the answers are, and we'll have like a little bit of a discussion about it, about why, what the answer is going to be, if we're right, if we don't understand the question, or the answer doesn't actually follow along with what we think it's supposed to be, then we'll do some quick research on Wikipedia and see exactly what's going on. Anyway, so that's what we'd like to do sometimes on these live streams. But I will say, once again, to reiterate to the people that are watching, if you have questions or little challenges or whatever you want to interact with doing here on the live stream, put them into the comments. I'm definitely down to do some stuff. So we are going to go and do some questions here. I don't remember what the colors refer to in this case, but I always did horrible on the sports questions. How many nations make up the Commonwealth of Nations? Is it 13, 33, 52? So the Commonwealth, I mean, that includes Canada. I don't know if that still includes the US, but definitely the UK, Australia. I think South Africa is in the Commonwealth. All the old British colonies, essentially, is what the Commonwealth is. But I don't know, 13, 33, or 52. Anyways, we'll find out after we ask all these questions and then come back to them. This one is an easy one for those of you. You can write down your responses down in the comments. Which late night talk show host played a hooded spy in the 2013 film The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug? I always said Smog growing up, but apparently you have to like really roll that U. Laurie thinks that there's 33 as far as the Commonwealth of Nations. Does anyone know who the late night show host was? I know who this is right off the top of my head, but don't want to ruin the surprise for those of you who might not know and are playing the home game. So yeah, write down your responses down below. Here's a question for all you Hamilton fans out there, if you're still listening to the Hamilton soundtrack. Which cabinet post did Aaron Burr hold when he killed Alexander Hamilton in a duel? So that famed duel where Aaron Burr killed Alexander Hamilton, what position was he in the cabinet that Aaron Burr was? Here's for all your young adult fiction fans out there. Which of the following is not a Judy Blume book? Which of these is not a Judy Blume book? Superfudge, Blubber, or Ramona the Pest? Superfudge, Blubber, or Ramona the Pest? I was a huge Judy Blume fan growing up. Like, I read so many of her books. She's great. She's awesome. I know what the answer is. But again, I'm not going to ruin it for people who want to play along. Which animated image format was invented in 1987 by Steve Wilhite, an engineer at CompuServe? I have a very specific guess on this, but what animated image format was invented in 1987 by Steve Wilhite, an engineer at CompuServe? And then lastly, what sport does the term scrum come from? So the word scrum, S-C-R-U-M. Which sport does the term scrum come from? There was a time in my life where I really wanted to have a nickname of some kind, and I thought that scrum kind of sounded cool. And so I tried for like a couple of days to get people to call me Scrum. It didn't take. I eventually did get a nickname in high school, which was Mad Dog, which if you are a very long time watcher of this YouTube channel, which I doubt anyone of you actually are, at least not anymore, way back when I originally made my YouTube channel, in March of 2006, I didn't start making videos until quite a few years later, but in March of 2006 when I made the YouTube channel, my channel's name was actually Mad Dog 53. Mad Dog because of this nickname that I had been given in high school, and then 53 because I was turned into my favorite number. It was also my football number when I played football. I was a defensive end for a few seasons. Anyways, that's a lot about me that you just found out. So let's answer some of these questions, and I'll go back to what some of the people thought they were. Boom. So, first question. How many nations make up the Commonwealth of Nations? Was it 13, 33, 52? And did anyone answer this? Laurie thought 33, maybe. I think you're the only one who answered. The correct answer here is 52. Most of the member countries were formerly under British rule. There was a time where the sun didn't set on the British Empire, so I guess that continues to be true. Second question, which late-night talk show host played a hooded spy in the 2013 film The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug? Laurie's guess was Coco, which, oh my gosh. The redheaded guy. Conan O'Brien. I totally blanked on his name there for a second. The real actual answer is Stephen Colbert. The cameo was a gift from director Peter Jackson for being a total Tolkien nerd, which is true. If you have not seen him just go off on his very deep knowledge of Tolkien and Lord of the Rings, it is crazy. It is ridiculous how deep into that he is. Third one, which cabinet post did Aaron Burr hold when he killed Alexander Hamilton in a duel? I don't think anyone actually guessed on this answer, but the correct answer is that he was the Vice President of the United States. So back then you actually could kill someone and still keep your job. It was quite a world to live in. Which of the following is not a Judy Blume book? So not a Judy Blume book. Say that 5 times fast. The options were Super Fudge, Blubber, or Ramona the Pest, and of course, people always mix this up because Blubber was the guess here, but it's actually Ramona the Pest. Ramona the Pest is done by Beverly Cleary, which they always get confused. What animated image format was invented in 1987 by Steve Wilhite, an engineer at CompuServe? The correct answer is GIF. I know there's a huge debate on here about how we actually pronounce that, but I'm going with how they have actually asked us to pronounce it. Or when he created it, Steve did. He said he pronounced it as GIF, not as GIF, even though everyone does it wrong. Although I do love, my favorite animal in the world is a giraffe. So last question was, which sport does the term scrum come from? And of course, we had a few different guesses on here. Barbara said rugby, Laurier said rugby, and the correct answer is, you guessed it, rugby. Or Quidditch would also be acceptable, but not a real sport apparently. Laurier says, correct nerd cred intact. Thank you so much. Let's do another question, unless someone has a question for me down in the comments. But we'll, sometimes I like to just preview these questions and make sure that this is going to be fun. Nope, not doing that one. Not doing that one. Okay. First question, which state is known as the Palmetto State? So this is a good question for anyone who's watching from the United States. I know that every state has its own nickname. There's the Empire State is New York. The Sunshine State, I believe, is Florida. The Land of 1,000 Lakes is Minnesota, something like that. Anyways, which state is known as the Palmetto State? Hopefully I'm saying that word correctly. Which post-apocalyptic AMC series calls its antagonists walkers, biters, lurkers, and monsters, but never what they actually are? Very, very easy question for possibly a lot of us that are watching. I'll say that again. Which post-apocalyptic AMC series calls its antagonists walkers, biters, lurkers, and monsters, but never what they actually are? Third, which U.S. president bought a stash of 1,200 Havana cigars before signing an embargo nixing trade with Cuba? So who is the U.S. president that basically put the kibosh on trading with Cuba? But he bought 1,200 cigars beforehand. What is the name of the title character in Stieg Larsson's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? Once again, what is the name of the title character in Stieg Larsson's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? What is the name of the record-setting rover that touched down on Mars in 2004 for what was supposed to be a 90-day mission? What is the name of the record-setting rover that touched down on Mars in 2004 for what was supposed to be a 90-day mission? And then lastly, what is the Japanese name for boiled soybeans? What is the Japanese name for boiled soybeans? I don't care what they call it. I call it delicious. Yeah, so there's a lot of different things that are going on here in my life. Trying to plan this trip. I'm trying to plan a bunch of different learning opportunities here through Media Lab. So if you haven't checked those out, you should go over to at least our Facebook page, facebook.com/MediaLabYYC. You'll find all the different stuff that we have going on. I'm producing so much content nowadays, maybe to a lot of people's chagrin, not just video-wise for myself, like this personal channel, but also I'm starting to create videos on the Media Lab channel. I'm also you can't see it, but there's a wall over here that I've started to write down ideas for other podcasts and video ideas. I'm only one guy, but apparently I'm trying to do everything possible so that I collapse and just cry in the shower, even when it isn't Thursday. Okay, let's go through some of these answers. What state is known as the Palmetto State? I don't know if anyone actually tried out for this one. No one tried, no one guessed it. But the correct answer is South Carolina. So South Carolina apparently is the Palmetto State. I think, yeah, Laurier guessed and got it right about which post-apocalyptic AMC series doesn't call its antagonists zombies. So yeah, The Walking Dead. The U.S. president who bought the cigars before signing that deal that banned trade was not Nixon, as Laurier suggested, but Orrin did get it correct. It was Kennedy. Very Kennedy maneuver. Just buy all the stuff and look cool. What is the name of the title character in Stieg Larsson's Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? And of course, did anyone do this? Yeah, Lisbeth Salander. Which always, again, not to bring Harry Potter into everything, always sounded like a Harry Potter character to me. It's Professor Salander. What is the name of the record-setting rover that touched down in Mars in 2004? So Laurier guessed Curiosity. I believe that was the one that went after it. It's Opportunity is the one that landed in 2004, at least. And then the last question, of course, is the Japanese name for boiled soybeans. It's edamame, which again is delicious. It's really, really good. Salty, but really, really good. So we do have some Barbara, yes, I will definitely let you know if my passport arrives in time. I really hope it does. Of course, I haven't been sleeping for the last 3 days, so hopefully I get good news on Monday. I do have some questions here. Gloria asks, what's your favorite part about running Media Lab? And I would have to say, there's a couple questions here. So I'm going to have to go back in time just a little bit. When I was going down this venture of creating my own business and wanting to have something that was like this cultural place and this meeting place for creatives here inside of the city to come and create videos and podcasts and glean information from each other and just work around with each other, I really thought, I was really, discouraged by, I was like, I just don't know anyone who lives here in the city. What I like the most about running Media Lab is the fact that because I've gone to so many different networking places and I've started to create these relationships and I've, been introduced to a bunch of people, that I feel much more a part of the city than I ever have before. And being able to see all the great things that people are doing, all the creative stuff that other people are working on and willing to help each other out. I think it's just been really, really beneficial to really see how supportive this city really is. It's the actual Calgary is what I call it versus what I think outside perception of what Calgary actually is. And that is one of my favorite parts. I think the other favorite part that I have is that for the first time, I think, is that I do feel like I'm being productive in my life. For so long, I mentioned this in a video of mine from a long time ago, but during my 20s at least, I was in a very dark place. I was pretty depressed, just drinking a lot. I'm probably like borderline alcoholic for a time period. Hated myself, just didn't have any motivation. I thought that I was just going to live a depressing life and just never amount to anything. And so slowly pulling myself out of that and seeing that, oh man, like there is a lot of value that I have, and people are responding to it in some way, has been really rewarding to me to realize that, hey, people are supporting me, people seem to like the idea, and now it's just my job to try and build this out so that it can be something that's a lasting business, which is very tough for me because it requires me to self-promote and get out there in front of people, which are two things that I don't think I excel at a whole lot. But, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is a good thing. Oren asks, did you apply through the Alberta Media Fund to get Media Lab started? The answer to that is no, I did not. This is all bank loans and personal loans and my own money that has gone into this currently. Now, that's not to say that I am against applying for grants and funding. In May, when this business turns 1 year old, then you're allowed to go through a bunch of the different application processes. At least that's what I found. I guess I haven't looked too much into the Alberta Media Fund to know exactly the qualifications that one needs, but what I kept running into is that the majority of grants and applications, they want you to have been in business for at least a year or like 6 or 7 months or something like that before they'll even look at your application. May is technically when I turn 1 year old, because that's when I registered the actual business name. So then I can actually start to apply for a bunch of those things. But it's definitely something that I want to do because I'll be completely transparent here. Where I am is that I'm definitely getting enough work to require me to start to bring on staff. I'm not bringing in enough revenue to be able to pay that staff. And I really, really dislike making people do things for free. It just is not in my nature. I don't want to do it. So being able to get some sort of fund that I can actually pay people to start to do work so I can bring on more work to increase revenue and start to do that kind of domino effect is kind of what I need to have done. But Oren, if you know the actual qualifications, I know I could probably just Google it for you myself, but if you know the qualifications for that Alberta Media Fund, I'll definitely look into it so that I can apply for it. Laurier asks, any news on your rendition of VidCon? You can't recall the name at the moment. Well, that's great for our branding. It is called the Calgary Digital Expo, or DEXPO for short. We are, I think, at 10% funded. I believe we're in the last 30 days of having the campaign going on. We definitely have certain businesses that are interested in helping out. We're going to finalize some of those things here very, very shortly. Our first announcement of people that are going to be coming there went out earlier this week. There's a band called The Path Less Traveled that will be there in attendance. We're going to start to roll out some other people that are going to be featured guests and that sort of thing as well. So I'm still very excited for it. Definitely, I want to promote that more. So if you want to come to it, definitely help and donate for us over on our Kickstarter page. In fact, I wonder if I can just very quickly, I'm going to go to the website so I can post it into the chat here right now. But yeah, if you know someone or you yourself would like to help donate to the page and to the campaign, definitely please do that. This is definitely something I think we want to do, and want to do it in the right possible way. Oh, and I don't need this right there. So I just posted in there the Kickstarter link. Are you guys looking for volunteers at all? I mean, yes is the quick answer to that. This is definitely something that's going to require there to be a certain number of volunteers to be either like handing out badges, coordinating with the special guests, making sure that the miking setups are all ready to go, that sort of thing. Again, this is going to start fairly small. It's not going to be like this gigantic thing, but there's still some logistics and stuff that have to be thought of as we go through this. And volunteers is definitely going to be something that we want to do. And definitely volunteering would get you at least a ticket to the show. But of course, you'd have to work a certain number of shifts or something like that. Not something that we've really delved into a whole lot and figured out what that's going to look like. But yeah. So, yeah, as Laurie mentions, trying to get an expo or a convention off the ground, running like 4 or 5 videos a week. I have 2 podcasts I do, and I'm going to be adding a couple more here pretty soon. Running my own business. There's just a lot of stuff that I do on a weekly basis. And yeah, at a certain point, I'm going to have to start getting people around me so that I can back out and focus on only certain things instead of trying to do everything here all at once. But thank you everyone for joining me here for the last 30-ish minutes. I think we're about to hit the 28-minute mark here. Hopefully you found a little bit of value there. Bad link. Oh no. Oh no. 1 second here. Maybe I need that question mark at the end. This is great broadcasting right here. It's just, maybe is there a share button here? Well, what you can do is if you go to Kickstarter, you can search for Calgary Digital Expo. That's what the name of it is, and it'll take you right there. Because I do not see a share button on this page. Oh, there it is. There it is. It was just really small and my old eyes couldn't see it. Apparently that's the link. Hopefully that works. Sorry. Thank you so much though for coming out. If you are a Patreon subscriber, we will have our own quick little live stream here starting probably in like 10 or 15 minutes. And we'll go for a little bit over there. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, you'll get another little bit of a live stream going on here after this is done. Our little after party that we have together. But thank you so much for coming out. Have a great rest of your night, and don't waste it. Have fun. I'm really bad at this sign-off thing. Thanks everyone for coming out.